Welcome to Court Helicopter Explainer, where we are dealing with the topic, the international topic of drugs. Not drugs at hospitals, but drugs, narcotics, and psychotropic substances. We are now looking at the punishments, the penalties. If you are involved in drugs, and you are arrested, and you are convicted, what will be the punishment? What will be the fine? Do you know it is very interesting? Do you know the law talks about if you are found with the narcotics for consumption? When you have it for your own consumption, the punishment is lesser than when you have it for selling. That's not me. Part 2 of the Act, in Section 3, a penalty for possession of narcotic drugs. 1. If you are found in possession of narcotic drugs or psychotropic substance, you shall be found guilty. If you are arrested and you have no medical reason, you're not having a medicinal drug, you will be convicted. After conviction, how will you be penalized? Section 3, 2 says, a person guilty of an offense under subsection 1A, in respect of the first one, cannabis, where you have been convicted for cannabis, and where that person, the convict, satisfies the court that the cannabis was intended solely for his own consumption. It is you who has been arrested, it is you who has been convicted, but you have managed to convince the court that actually this cannabis was for my own consumption, not for sharing, not for selling, purely for my own consumption. You know, you tell the judge, me since I was born, I started smoking cannabis when I was 11 years. I have smoked cannabis for 50 years. And I have never sold. Look at what I have. It is only for my consumption. Per day, I take 1 gram. So you must prove the court that it is for your own consumption. What does the law say? You will be imprisoned to a term of not more than 5 years. My friend, you thought that you are going to go home because you have told the court that this is for my own consumption. I can only speak English in court after I've taken it. I can only have the confidence to talk to a lady or to do something when I've taken it. You think you'll go home? If you are convicted, this is the sentence. You'll be jailed for an imprisonment of not more than 5 years, or to a fine of not more than 100,000 shillings. You'll be imprisoned for a term of not more than 5 years, or an imprisonment of not or a fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings. B. That is for narcotics. That's for cannabis. What about narcotics? What about narcotics? The punishment is different. Cannabis is lighter. Narcotics is heavy. Hear what the punishment is. If you are found in respect of a narcotics drug or psychotropic substance other than cannabis, where a person is in possession of less than 1 gram How big is a gram? How big is a gram? You must have less than 1 gram. But when you look at a gram, is a dot. So they weigh, and if it is less than 1 gram for narcotics and psychotropic, you will go to a fine of not less than 5 million shillings. The minimum, if you are 0.9 grams, because 1 gram is less, you will be fined. The minimum fine is 5 million shillings. The minimum. The maximum can be 1 billion. The court cannot reduce from 5 million. Or to imprisonment to a term of not less than 5 years. Of not less than 5 years. So you cannot be sentenced for 2 years. You can't be sentenced for 4 years. You can't be sentenced for 4 years and 11 months. It is 5 years and above. So you can be sentenced for life. Lastly, or to both the fine and the imprisonment. So don't think that you can only be fined 5 million. You can be fined 5 million and still be jailed for life. You can get both. That is how drugs are terrible. Drugs is not a joke. See, now this is where you need to understand. There is a mandatory sentence. The first two are not the mandatory sentence. What is the mandatory sentence? So you will get A. If you had cannabis for consumption, you have been fined 50,000 shillings and an imprisonment of 3 years. C. You must get, if it is cannabis, A and C. If it is narcotics, you get B and C. 2. Get it? In addition to the sentences in A and above, the ones we have said respectively, you'll be committed to an appropriate court appointed treatment program or to voluntary submission to a rehabilitation program for a period not less than 6 months, where the court deems fit. So what does the mandatory sentence mean? After you have served your 5 years, after you have paid your fine of 15 million shillings, you must go for a rehabilitation for a duration of not less than 6 months. So you will be taken for rehabilitation. Why? The purpose is not to punish. The purpose is to punish and rehabilitate. Get it today. 20 years plus a fine, then you have got to go for rehabilitation. Now we have subsection 1, where my good sister Mary was found with one where the doctor gave him. What does the law say? It shall not apply if a person who has possession of the narcotics, drug, or psychotropic substance under a license issued pursuant to the section 16 permitting him to have possession of the narcotic drug by a doctor. If you have a license to have narcotics drug, you are to use it, you'll have a license pursuant to section 16, then you'll not be arrested. Then you must produce it This is a treatment I have. 2, if you are a medical practitioner, a dentist, a veterinary surgeon, or a registered pharmacist who is in possession of a narcotic drug or psychotropic substance for any medical purposes. If you are a chemist, the DCI cannot come and pick you because you have it for medical purposes. If you are a dentist, I'm told opium is used for dentistry. People, wale meno inasumbua, it is a serious treatment in the dentist, issues of teeth and the dental formula. Veterinary doctors have alliances to have it and prescribe it. So anybody allowed by law has not committed issue. C, if it is pursuant to a prescription, you are there, and any other person allowed by the law. So this is section 3 that deals with possession. Kupatikana, the issue hii ni kupatikana, if you are found in possession. Let's go to section 4. Penalty for trafficking. Trafficking, which we dealt with. If you are convicted with the offense of trafficking, narcotic drugs, it says any person who traffics in or has in his or in her possession any narcotic drug or any substance shall be guilty on an offense. A, if it is in respect of any narcotic drug or psychotropic substance. I, where the person is in possession of between 1 gram to 100 grams. 1 gram to 100 grams. To a fine of not less than 30 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term of 30 years or to both such a fine and imprisonment. If you are found with 1 gram, remember the other one, it was less than 1 gram. If you are found with 1 gram to 100 grams, the fine is a fine of 30 million shillings and to an imprisonment of 30 years or to both. How many years are you? Yes, you are listening to me. How many years are you? You are 22 years. You'll go for 30 years. By the time you come out of prison, you are 52 years. Is that what you choose your life to be? Court helicopter is advising you. That is 1 gram. Do you have 30 million shillings to pay to the government? B, where the person is in possession of more than 100 grams. More than 100 grams. Is to a fine of not less than 50 million Kenya shillings. 50 million Kenya shillings. More than 100 grams. Or 3 times. Or 3 times the value of the narcotic he was found with. Whichever is greater. Whichever is greater. If you have been found with the narcotics worth the 10 kgs with a market value of 300 million shillings, the fine will be times 3. That's 900 million Kenya shillings. it is times 3. My friend, it moves on to say, or to both the fine and the imprisonment. 50 years, 50 million shillings, or 300 million or 900 million, whichever is here. That is narcotics drug. I think whether Maduro will survive, it is impossible. What about the precursor? This is in possession of narcotics. Now we are dealing in possession of the chemicals used to produce narcotics. Those machineries, those chemicals, those acids we talked about. If you are found in possession of the drugs, the chemicals that are going to be used. It talks B. In respect of a precursor chemical or substance other than a drug, where the person is in possession of 50 milligrams or more. 50 milligrams, not grams. A milligram is smaller than a gram. If you have 50 milligrams of a precursor, you go in to a fine of not less than 20 million shillings. Any of the chemicals that is used to produce narcotics, 20 million shillings, a minimum, or to an imprisonment for life. For an imprisonment for life. Where a person is in possession of 50 grams, 50 milligrams or less. Here it is 50, the other one is 50 milligrams and above. The second one is 50 milligrams or less. One will go to a fine of not less than 10 million shillings or to an imprisonment for a term not less than 10 years or to both such a fine. My friend, trafficking is bad. When you are at the airport, somebody gives you a bag, hold for me this bag. I'm going to the washroom. Somebody is breastfeeding a child. Then he tells me, hold for me this bag. Let me go to the washroom to change the nappies of the small kid. Those are drugs. You will be arrested for trafficking. When somebody gets you at the airport and tells you, please, my bags are many, help. Don't. You will go in for life imprisonment. Trafficking is chaos. Having equipments, the reagents for preparation of narcotics, is life imprisonment. The last part in this one is the penalty relating to precursor chemicals. Very dangerous. Section 4A. A person who manufactures or is in possession of a substance referred to in the 4th schedule for the purpose of production of any narcotic drug or psychotropic substance, or transports such substance or supplies it to another person, knowing or having reasonable grounds to suspect that the substance is to be used in or for the unlawful production of a narcotic drug, is guilty of an offense and is liable upon conviction to a fine not less than 50 million Kenya shillings and to an imprisonment for a term not less than 20 years. to a fine not less than 50 years and to an imprisonment for a term not less than 20 years. So that is how it is very, very dangerous to do that. It is very dangerous to deal with the drugs. And it is your responsibility to ensure the Cabinet Secretary and the Minister for Interior will make regulations. What are you supposed to have to avoid being arrested? I talked about a girlfriend coming in, or a tenant coming in, or your vehicle being borrowed. How will you avoid if you are given somebody something? One, the question of documentation. The following of documentation. Do you have the list of who is in your place? Do you have the particulars? Do you have the person you have given your car, his driving license? Do you have an agreement that he is taking your car? Has your friend ever asked you a car? Have you written that the car was in her possession? Omar, please give me the car. I dropped my kid to school. He carries the drugs. He hears the police are coming, he runs away. Now you know. Keep the records. For your employees, keep the records. For those ones who have your properties or who are tenants in your property. Wakili Dan Senomari is bringing it, not in a very scaring way, but I'm telling you, Trump might come to you. William Ruto might come to you. The Inspector General and the DCI with the Subarus are coming to you. This era, this year, drugs are very expensive to buy and to smoke, and the consequences. But the drugs industry is very expensive to be involved. The law is bad. The law is there. This is not a law of yesterday. The DCI will be watching this and they will know which are the offenses provided. Wakili Dan Senomari, enjoying as always to bring to you the law as it is. Thank you.